What's going on, Gemini? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be a reading for September 19th to the 25th, 2022. So in this reading, Gemini, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy, some things you do not see coming, and also get some advice from your angels and spirit guides regarding September 19th to the 25th, 2022. Before we begin this reading, though, Gemini, I do want to let you know that you are very welcome here in this space with me as we go through this reading, and I really do appreciate you in advance for taking the time to check this reading out. Now, if this general reading happens to resonate with you, Gemini, definitely smash that like button, subscribe down below if you have not already for future updates. That would also be greatly appreciated over here, Gemini. So without further ado, I'm going to pull the energy and we'll see what wants to come through for you. Why can't I say the date? September 19th to the 25th, 2022. Let's go. Okay. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for Gemini. All right, Gemini, let's lay out these cards and see what is going on here for you. Ouch. All right. A lot of All right, Gemini, there's definitely a lot of death and rebirth here, okay? Letting go of old cycles, embracing new cycles. I honestly sense that a lot of you are not going to let go of something because it looks too good in the external world. There's something that potentially you need to look at what you're being defensive about, Gemini, for the 19th to the 25th, because it seems like there's a lot of pain here. If this is a very intense reading, Gemini, if I'm going to be honest, and there's a new direction that Spirit is like gently trying to nudge you in the direction of, and but a lot of you are clinging to something that is simply outdated for you. Okay, what that is, we're going to get into it, but we have your opportunity, Gemini, being the Seven of Wands. Okay, the Seven of Wands in your opportunity, it could be for some of you to defend yourself against something that simply isn't for you. If anyone is imposing anything on you, this could be a belief, this could be an action, something, you may need to defend yourself. But if I'm being honest about the intuitive prompt that I'm receiving from Spirit to tell you, a lot of you need to look at what you're being defensive about. There's something, and I know how this goes, it's not comfortable, it's not fun. It's almost like I'm getting a visual of you read something in a book, and you know that that was the exact chapter that you needed to read to transform your life. It reminds me of a time when I read something about self-love. It was a few years ago, and I was like, it was like actually kind of a long time ago. I read this thing about self-love, and I knew that it was talking to me, and at that point I realized, oh, I actually don't love myself. Fuck. And so when I was reading the chapter, it made me feel like I want to throw up, and I was very defensive. I put down the book. I was like, I'm just in my head. So there's something, you have an awareness that you're trying to shut off. What I will tell you, Gemini, is that this is not a secret to you. It's not a secret to anyone. There's some sort of awareness that you have that you're trying to avoid. So you need to look at the thing that you're trying to be defensive about. is the very thing that you need to be authentic about and open and honest, even though it hurts, okay? So we're going to have to clarify that. I know we're on the first card here, Jesus, but we have the Page of Wands here in your challenge, Gemini, and the Page of Wands in your challenge, I'm getting very clearly that there's just like a lack of, you know, like a childhood open enthusiasm when it comes to this new direction in your life. I feel like a lot of you are clinging to something that you're viewing as golden. I'm just getting this vision of like, you're viewing what you have, what you don't want to let go of, as like so good, as so prestigious. Oh, like so it's almost like you're like I'm the royal class, or whatever this thing is. There's something about being like above others and you don't even realize it. Like, you need to live for the soul and you want to be happy. You don't want to live in a world, a little fishbowl where your life looks good on the outside to other people and then you're dying on the inside. If I'm being honest, that's what's happening here. Your life looks damn good to a lot of people, and this doesn't have to be you're rich. It could be you're a manager, you worked 5 years at this place, you're a manager, and everyone looks up to you at your current job, but you really don't want to be there and you want to go into a different field. Or something like, oh, like, I just want to take the fishbowl and like dump it out, but that's mean, so I won't do it. The universe won't, oh well. Okay. And then we have in your overall general energy, Gemini, it's like you're looking out to the future, and I understand you may not know where it's like a lot of you are not letting this go because you're like, well, I don't even know where I'm going to go. And that's understandable, but you have the Three of Swords, the Two of Wands, and the Tower in your overall general energy for the 19th to the 25th. Let me repeat that. You have the Three of Swords, the Two of Wands, and the Tower in your overall general energy. So clearly there's some sort of painful release here, and I feel like it actually gives you an unexpected optimism about where you're going in the future. The Two of Wands, I'm telling you, like by the end of this week or the next week, the 25th, like it's finally gonna dawn upon you that like I actually am excited about this new direction. But for the 19th to the 25th, like there's all these like fighting. And I mean, in what you don't see coming, and we're going to clarify this, but in what you don't see coming, and this is more of like a general purpose in life rather than a love reading. For some of you, this could have to do with a primary love relationship. For the vast majority of you, I'm almost getting more like purpose in life, like what are you here to do, that type of thing, or something, right? You'll know what it is. But you have the Ten of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the World. What's with all these endings, guys, in what you don't see coming? The Ten of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the World in what you don't see coming. So you're overdue for an upgrade here, Gemini, and you know it. But the problem is that the upgrade to your mind is going to feel like a downgrade. Okay, the problem is that the upgrade that the universe is trying to give you is going to feel like a downgrade. Now, if you can look back into your life and you can honestly admit when you upgraded, it was probably when things were going bad. It was probably when you had a big structure, you know, something in your life for a very long time that had to fall apart. And for me in my own life, I don't make progress when things are going good, right? That's when I usually get stuck. It's like when things go bad for me, that's when like, it's like you have this wake-up call to make a big change in your life, and that's what's happening for you right now. There's a clear upgrade that you know about, and here's the advice from your spirit guides. You need to have fun being a co-creator in this reality. You have the Magician, you have the Knight of Cups, and you have the Chariot here, Gemini. So you are going to be provided for and protected. This is so coming out strongly. The Chariot is here. A lot of you are having concerns about how am I going to make a living if I let this thing go? How am I going to survive? Guess what? You're going to be provided for in such a synchronistic way that your mind cannot understand it. And because your mind cannot understand it, you are experiencing fear, okay? But this universe is not what we think it is. It is a form of simulation. And if you try to like believe in the old paradigm of like, it's random, we have to find security or else very bad things will happen to us, like, well, then you'll get a reflection of that. So what are you believing about the universe? Because the Magician, I'm just getting like, your challenge is the Page of Wands, and in the advice you have the Magician and the Knight of Cups. I'm just getting like there's going to be a renewed enthusiasm about your life, and very magical and romantic. I'm a big fan of movies and like living your life as if it was a movie. okay? Like, instead of like playing small. Like, I just, man, this is very difficult. So let's go ahead and get into this, Gemini. There's a lot to clarify here. Let's go ahead and clarify why, why is this tower here in your overall general energy? The tower, something, it seems, is coming to an end. There's a death, there's a rebirth. I mean, so let's go ahead and see, Gemini. Why is the tower card here? You may be having a very painful realization that ultimately sets you free. So why is the tower card here for Gemini? One more. Why is the tower card here for Gemini in your overall general energy? The tower is clarified by the King of Cups, the Empress, and also the Two of Wands. It's interesting, the Two of Wands is also in your overall general energy. So there could be a choice in love that you have to make here. Something ends maybe between you and a person, okay? This does not have to be like exactly how you see it on the card, but there could be a soul connection. The Empress to the King of Cups here. There could be a challenge in your relationships. If it's not to do with a person, and for a lot of you I sense it's more of an energetic thing, there's going to be a lot of outpouring of emotion based on physical insecurity. Like the Empress is all about the physical world, like believing in abundance, knowing actually in abundance rather than believing. The King of Cups is all about emotions and feelings, and the Two of Wands to the Tower. So there could just be this feeling of like, I don't know where I'm going now that this is not working anymore. It's like, it's bringing you it's like a very fear-based thing, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's healthy. I want to like say this, that it's actually healthy for you to have this response. It tells me that you're responsible. It tells me that you care about life. And like a lot of times the people who are just very quick to let go of things, I mean, it's like it's too quick, it's too loose. It's like their life is like they're a drifter. You're not a drifter, Gemini. I can feel the people that I'm reading for right now. You actually give a shit. But I'm not telling you to not give a shit about the direction of your life. But there has to be some sort of shift. So let's also clarify why the Seven of Wands is here in your opportunity, Gemini. Why is the Seven of Wands here in your opportunity? Man, this is like life and death right here. This is not like some love reading, I'm telling you. It could have to do with love, obviously, King of Cups, Empress, but no, this is going to shift your timeline type stuff. Why is the Seven of Wands here in your opportunity? 3 cards just like that. Seven of Wands is clarified by the Two of Cups, the Page of Swords, and also the Four of Swords here in your opportunity, Gemini. So it seems like it's like your opportunity is to defend yourself against something and maybe take time to really think about the direction of your life. The Page of Swords and also the Four of Swords is kind of a disconnection. It's kind of healing and getting more information. Also, you have the Two of Cups here. So a lot of you here, I do sense that there's a soulmate, there's a soul connection that you're clinging to, and you have to be very careful about that. I'm actually getting that. This is either people that you consider in your soul tribe. It's not really I'm not really getting a romantic relationship. For some of you, it's gonna be romantic. There's someone in who you believe to be your soul family who is, of course, always going to be in your soul family. But I feel like you're almost being taken advantage of and you don't really realize it, or like, maybe if you're not being taken advantage of by someone here, it's like you're so defensive about losing this person, or like maybe creating space between the two of you. And in your opportunity, I really feel like you need to look at like, there's other soul contracts that are meant to come into your life, but they're not going to come in unless you really think about like, why is this one still here even though it feels stale? There's something about like loyalty to the point of like detriment here, and it's very hard for you to admit that. But yeah, so I'm not saying like you have to like be mean or cut some out, but like let's see why the world is here, because it's interesting. You have the Tower and the World. Why is the World card here in what you don't see coming, Gemini? Why is the World card here in what you don't see coming, right underneath the Tower? The World's clarified by the Seven of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and also the Star card here, Gemini. This is going to sound weird, but I honestly feel like for a large percentage of you, the main work that you came here to do on planet Earth is actually already done. This is a very weird message just coming through. I have to relay it. It's almost like you're being given a freedom of choice about like the reason this is difficult for you is because you're not being provided the synchronicities and the signs that you were on the earlier part of your journey here in this time-space reality on planet Earth. Like, there's more of a freedom. There's a choice about what direction you want to move in order to create stability for yourself. The Seven of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and also the Star. The thing that I'm getting very clearly, Gemini, for you is that, like, let's just say, and this is not going to resonate for all of you, but for the people who need to hear it, I have to say it. Let's just say, like, your work or whatever is very important to you that you're clinging to got taken away, or something got taken away. Like, you've already done your job. Like, you're immortalized. Like, you can bounce out of this time-space reality, like, and, like, your work is basically... I'm not saying your work is done, because obviously there's more and there's infinite ways that we can experience expansion. But there's something about, like, you've, like why you... Like, you're trying to prove something to the universe when, like, you already did it. And now you have more of, like, a freedom to enjoy life. A freedom to, like, let's just take me, for example. Like, one of my goals for such a long time has been, like, to inspire millions of people worldwide with spiritual content and have 100,000 followers on certain platforms. And I've done that now. So there's more of, like, a freedom in my life to where, like, God forbid, if I died tomorrow, I'd be like, well, I did it, like, this is what I did. So you need to rest in that. Like, what have you already accomplished that, like, you don't need to cling to it, but, like, fuck. This is like, all right, let's make it lighter. Why is the Page of Wands here in your challenge? And this is what I'm talking about. Like, why is the Page of Wands here in your challenge, Gemini? It's getting me, like, a little bit emotional. Why is the Page of Wands here in your challenge? It doesn't mean you have to do anything big to, like, complete your legacy. It could just be the energy you've been putting out. Just want to reiterate that. Why is the Page of Wands here in your challenge? The Page of Wands in your challenge, Gemini, is clarified by the Sun, the Knight of Swords, and the Six of Swords. So there's a challenge to move towards a new form of happiness, I'm getting. Because, yeah, I don't know, there's new happiness coming into your life that's challenging for you to go towards, because in order to go towards it, you're going to have to make a physical movement or a shift. The Six of Swords often talks about physical travel, moving from choppy waters to calmer waters here. And the Knight of Swords is just kind of like let's do it already. All right, so there's a choice that you need to make about, like, free will. And I feel like ultimately, like, the problem here, Gemini, is, like, you're meant to be a co-creator. Okay, this is going to sound so weird, but here's the thing. You realize that we all have 2 points of attraction in this life, right? People say when they talk about, like, the law of attraction, there's 2 points of attraction. One is your mind and your free will and your personal vibration that you cultivate here and now via your thoughts, words, and actions. That's called just, like, basic understanding of the law of attraction, but you also have a point of attraction coming from your higher self. What I'm trying to say is that up until this point in your life, you've been guided by your higher self, kind of a theme of destiny, what you were born to do, and a lot of you have basically completed that part. Now you're moving into this next part where instead of relying on the higher self vibration, which of course is always going to be there in this new phase to bring in new soul contracts, to bring in wonderful themes that are amazing, but now you're in this phase where it's more going to be dependent on your own free will as a magician to cultivate your reality. And for some of you, and if this is not your reading, it's not your reading, but you'll know it if it is based on resonance, you have to forget about the idea of what is spirit calling me to do and trying to figure out some puzzle piece to be in alignment. You've already done that meat of the work. So now it's about growing up. There's no more mommy and daddy of angels telling you where to go. Of course, they're still going to be there, but they're more of a distance. Like, you've gone to college, you're gone. So romanticize life. Now you have freedom, and it's not easy though, but it's like, I don't know what the hell this reading was, but whoever needed to hear it did. So I appreciate you, Gemini. I'll talk to you next week. This is the Autistic Mystic